Okay, welcome back to the Caribou Media Outdoors podcast. With me this afternoon is Tom LaLond from XOP, making a second appearance, talking about the new 2025 product launch. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, good man. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, of course.
It's been a wild couple of weeks, so
Yeah, I bet.
excited to yeah, it
I,
was far surpassed what we thought it was gonna do, you know?
yeah. I remember we talked a little bit about it. Or maybe I don't know if it was off recording or not. Just that new stuff was coming. But I came downstairs a couple weeks ago. I get up early in the morning to go to the gym,
Hmm.
but I always have coffee before I go. So sometimes I turn on YouTube, sometimes I don't, but I know if I do, I can get trapped and then never
Yeah.
leave. So, yeah, so I turned on YouTube and your launch video was there. So of course I had to click on it, and
Yeah.
oh man, you guys came out with some pretty cool stuff for
Thanks.
2025.
Yeah.
And I remember the last time we talked, we were talking about weight, and just if you're
Mm.
going to complain about carrying 12 pounds, maybe you should just go to
Yeah.
the gym.
Yeah.
But you guys have now met, I guess everybody that was complaining about weight can't complain now because it's
Right.
like 5.8 pounds.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
how
It's
long,
been
sorry, how long has this been in the works?
Oh man. Some of the products, 3 years. Some of them, probably the shortest one was like a year and a half. So we kind of have everything. We like to do a lot of testing. We like to do a lot of especially not just testing like in the lab, but in the field.
Right.
Um, and so like the was it the fly? I think the fly with one guy, um, Clifton Denny had like I can't remember it shoot. He said the stat on one of his videos, but it was like 30 some sits or something. Um, Something crazy with as far as how many animals we've had killed out of these stands before production. Um, Last year alone was crazy. There was for sure five, six, seven different critters. I know Clifton had like four himself, three or four himself.
Wow.
And then Brock and um, Logan had some. I'm trying to think. It's been such a team thing, but it's been yeah, year and a half to 3 years of tinkering
Hmm.
on some of these things, especially the climber. That thing was
Yeah.
that was the most that had the most time into it, um, or most years into it, as far as because we wanted it to be everything that everybody would want who's looking for a product like that. That it just takes time, man. There's things to figure out and to make sure that they're perfect. So it just yeah, it took time. So all of those and then the colors, like the color, deciding on the color for sure in itself took 6 months, 8 months. Because I didn't like it at all when I first saw it. When Brock
Okay.
showed it to me of like, hey, I'm thinking to go this way.
Absolutely not.
Um, I was like, dude, because traditionally I'm like, dude, drab colors, not loud, this and
Right.
that and the other thing. And then we started testing it in the field, and you're like, holy cow, that actually there's a lot of orange in the woods. And it's not like a blaze orange type of a look. So it hides really well. Um, but like when you see it, it hides really well, but it also just seeing it by itself, you're not going to mistake it for something else. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's yeah, it's truly incredible. What Brock was able to do with in the time and as far as like fine tuning everything, like once we had the concept um with our engineering team and everything finalized safety wise, it's like okay, now going into that and really fine tuning it is what takes time.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. So what would you say sets that? So that's the Revolt we're talking about, the
yeah,
climber.
yep, yep.
How does it differ from other ones that are on the market, would you say?
So it folds flat,
Okay.
is one of the biggest things in that level of climber. So I'll full transparency, I'm not a huge climber guy. Um, just because I don't really, where I live, I don't really have the application for it. You know, log pole pines kind of a deal. So we not having that, but from my understanding of it, so that's where we relied on the team. This whole thing is a huge team development. Um, and my understanding is there's several different types. So there's a fold flat, and then there's a sit to climb. There are two different kind of categories in itself, but fold and flat, but still having a super wide, comfy seat. It's basically the same seat that's on the fly and the super fly.
Okay.
And so and then it's got the pivot point is actually, it's a singular point versus on our previous designs, it was on the side. So basically on the arms, if you will, of the climber that would rotate up when you need to go, and get set and everything. Those you'd have to unscrew on either side and then move both those up in unison. And what can happen is if one's off just a little bit, you're all of a sudden you're stuck, right? But
Oh,
with moving that in the center with like a specially designed locking system too, but it's really keeping the simplicity. We can just move that up at one point, super quiet. And then the orange color, the Axis pack straps that we developed too in unison with it. So it's really just I believe it's um, just the lightest, simplest, smallest, slimmest profile climber that's available. So it's been a labor of love for a lot of us. So
yeah, I know a lot of people were bugging you guys for it for a long time. You're like,
yeah,
we're working on it. We're working on
yeah,
it. Just give us
exact.
the time.
And right, exactly. And that's what's, I mean, it's, there was the market for it when we sold out in 2 days of our first round. So it obviously people were looking for it. And so we didn't want to deliver something that was like I said, that was halfway done or just rush it out just because kind of a deal. We wanted it to be to our standards. And that's what that takes time. So,
It's the same with testing. Like you don't want to put something out that you haven't spent enough time
right.
trying to find out whatever problems people are going to complain to you about later if you rush it,
Yep.
right? So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. And that took, yeah, there's wins and losses within the testing, but that's why like you said, that's why we do it, so that we do it in the field and all different types of people, sizes of people, habitats and everything. So you can
yeah.
see how it works in the easy stuff and the hard stuff. So,
And then the fly,
hmm
um, 5.8 pounds. Was that right?
yeah, that's probably my favorite. I go back and forth between the fly and the super fly, obviously. But I think for me, and I guess it kind of depends on my like the hunt that I'm
Hmm.
going on. If I have to pick one, you know, if I have to pick one for the whole season, it's probably going to be the fly with the hydros. The fly is such a versatile product, still at 5 pounds, 5.8 pounds, like you said. But it's got a huge platform. One guy that is, I would say, a testament to it, that we bounce a lot of ideas off, is Samco Tradbo. He does a lot of he's in Georgia there, and um, he didn't think he'd like the fly, just because he likes the Rubicon and that size. He'd rather
The
have a bigger
bigger.
size, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I was like, well, let's just see what you think of it. And he's like, I'm gonna hunt out of this thing because of this. You're not having a compromise on the size. It's a little bit, it's very similar to the Cold World that we had, but um 2 pounds lighter, basically, on that. So it's like, holy buckets, how can you not, especially with the micro buckles, the C3 micro buckles and everything. So that fly quickly turned into my favorite stand.
So the platform dimensions are 26 by 16
Yep.
with an 18-inch seat height. And the 300-pound weight limit, is it tested at 10 times that? Is that what I think we talked about that last time? I
So
can't remember.
yeah, we test our stuff. Traditionally, the TMA has their standards, and then we like to go above and beyond too. So and it's product dependent, but these stands too. So inherently, when you the difference from 350 to 300 is pretty big, and this type of material that we've found to use is it there's a flex to it, right? But that's flex don't break kind of a
Right.
mentality, right? Where the other style of the Cold World, the Rubicon, the Retrograde, those stands were they're just stiffer.
Right.
And it's just inherently something a little bit different that is it takes a little bit of getting used to, but is really, really versatile once you start using it again. I found that it allows for a better because it'll flex to the tree a little bit too, and so you're
Okay.
a little bit more secure and all that too. But
And the cleat has changed too, right?
yeah,
So,
so yep, those designs changed a little bit as far as how we've traditionally done them for weight and everything as well. We just found that um, with that style, and I was just talking to a buddy about it the other day when we were looking at his Superfly, and it looks flat, but when you think about how a tree actually when it sets in, and whether it's a big tree or round tree, these things bite in super well just because they're and it's hard. It's kind of hard to talk through it without visualizing it, but
yeah.
the two are gonna bite in deeper, and so that the outer ones, even though they look flat because of the difference in depth or the width on them, they're actually gonna bite the same on those wider trees. And so it's one of those things again where once you see it, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And so we did a lot of testing from hunting in Nebraska to Wisconsin, Minnesota, Arkansas, and Ohio. We've been kind of all over the country, um, throwing these things up in trees to see, and all different kinds of trees to see how they react. And so it's a lot of redesign, a lot of new stuff compared to what people are used to.
Hmm. And the shelf lock, when it's folded up, you can almost
Yeah.
use the seat like a shelf to haul things in and out on your
Yep.
back. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So we designed that. So previously we've had that, and it was a twist design, so you'd have to twist the bolt all the way up and all the way down. And obviously it worked great. It was super secure, but there's fiddle factor, and we want to just keep progressing and improving. And so we took that
Right.
out with that simple quarter turn, and but you still get the adjustability of it to adjust your seat height. So it does double duty as far as that goes. And that was tested. We hauled out in Nebraska. We hauled out a doe on that one, and so it worked well. So we know it can hold a deer. So that was
Yeah.
good.
There you go.
Yeah, so fun stuff like that, and um, yeah, that's another awesome setup, and the um, the attachment system too is something that was took even myself. Brock's really familiar with a lot of that rope just because of his climbing background, so he's very familiar with the ropes as a whole, right? So, but for me, traditionally being a cam buckle guy and knuckle dragger, it was new, so there's a little more finesse to it, and it's like, but we kept the consistency from the attachment system of the fly being the same as the hydro. So once you get it and you understand the nuances of it, you just apply it to the others to the stick too. And
Okay.
so it's making sure that rope's straight, spin it around, and then put it around the cleat. And those ropes too, that was a lot of the testing too, was to see um, what does that drag look like and getting the exact correct rope um, type too, so that because with a rope there's going to be a little bit of a roll, right,
Hmm.
inherently because it's rounded. And so that whole system too, and the chamfer on the back of the cleats and everything, allowing it to, as you're putting it up and pulling it down, allows it to slide into place there, simply, and really, really secure even with the rope system. So
Okay.
yeah.
The Superfly is the one that really got my attention because of the fact that it's like a dual purpose. You can also
Yeah.
it's got some design on the back that you can almost use it like a saddle too, right? Or
Yeah.
for
Yep.
saddle hunting too.
Yeah. That was the whole idea with that one, was to be best of both worlds. And so the size of it is minimal. I love that just for saving on on. I can just walk through anything. That's why I love saddle hunting. Is just there's no profile there beyond my back.
Right.
Um, so bring in that into it, but then also have the like I did a all day saddle sit in Missouri last year, and it was like even being in the Mutant, which is in my opinion the comfiest saddle out there. Again, my opinion. So sorry to those who have a different one, but even in the comfiest saddle, whatever brand it is, you're going to have to adjust throughout the day, just like
Oh,
you wouldn't be
sure.
able to sit in a lazy boy recliner all day, right?
Right.
You're gonna adjust, and so. But what I found the biggest thing I was missing was, man, it'd be nice just to sit down for a minute
Mhm.
and not have because you can sit down in a saddle, but you're super low and you just feel like you're not ready if something happens, right? And I don't,
Right.
that's part, I always want to be able to be ready. So usually I'm standing if I'm in a hang on and just leaning up against a tree. Even sitting down, I don't do that a ton.
Mhm.
Um, but so we having that hybrid um, of the Superfly is so huge. Um, Making sure the biggest thing with that is again the education and the practice. That's what I really want to reiterate to people is if you do decide to go with one of our new products and use it in the field, practice, practice, practice. Don't get it and expect to be able to be
Yeah.
proficient, the day before because it's completely different style when you go to this level of weight reduction, if you will. And so even aiders take time to get to be so where you can do them in the dark without concern, especially having two sets of one and then two. They're great for taking weight out, but it is a totally different thing.
Mhm.
And confident people are great until they're in a situation where they're not familiar with, right? And
Yeah.
so that's one of the biggest things I think is make sure that you practice, practice, practice with any of these new products because they are from the rope attachment. Now you can use the C3 micro buckle for sure. So then you're not dealing with that, but the rope attachment and practicing with that is huge. So um, I think that's what is going to make people, really, really enjoy this or, be a little uneasy with it because of the new properties that come with it. It's to go to that level. It takes practice. You know what I mean? You can't
Mhm.
just step out on one weekend and decide to do it.
Yeah, you don't wanna be taking it out of the box in the back of your truck when you're at the trailhead.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things about, the Invader platform were the cutouts because you could adjust your feet.
Hmm.
You could
Yep,
go on the side, you could go on the front, you could go all
yep,
over the place, and that's basically what you guys have done here with the back end of the Superfly. So it's 5.3 pounds, so even
yep.
smaller than the Fly. Um,
Hmm.
24 by 14-inch platform.
Yeah, yeah. And to put perspective, that the Edge platform that I love still to use as like a permanent saddle platform on farms, that was about 5 pounds. So kind of perspective of what we're dealing with. It's pretty cool. And that,
Well,
yeah, that the biggest thing, make sure your like folks are utilizing when you go to using it as a hybrid. One of the things we found too in testing, having the secondary strap or rope, whatever method you go with, um, on the bottom there is incredibly important. So
mhm, mhm.
that's a when you putting that new kind of pressure on that backside, that's another thing to play around with and make sure you fully, practice 6 inches above off the ground
Yeah.
before you're 16 feet. So that's one of the biggest things too is practicing to get to know because on this level it's you have to be on point on it on everything in order to be efficient on everything. So that's a big part of it. And that's also why it kind of took so long, is just getting to know each piece of this, and what works, what doesn't, what needs to be adjusted, and everything in this. So there's definitely a learning curve.
Oh, for sure. And then the Rome is coming out in October.
Yeah, yes, that one is it's going to be an incredible one. Like, if you have a few dollars, saved up to do, I think that one's might I could see that one surpassing sales in compared to the Revolt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because of the comfort of that mesh seat is, once people use it, they're like, this thing is amazing. And so having that on that size of a platform for the price point that we've got it's just, people are gonna it's gonna be like the duo. It kind of allows you to start playing around with hybrid hunting,
Okay.
or not, excuse me, mobile hunting, and like to see if you can start testing the waters, if you will, like a traditional. We get a lot of comments on, people are like, hey, I've traditionally hunted private land and I want to try mobile hunting, and either on that property or going into public land. And so this stand really allows you to do that easily, to kind of transition into trying it out to see if it's something you like, but also still at the same time, if you decide, hey, I want to leave it and have my property set, and that's how my property works best for the deer in my area, you can still do it with that stand. It's still, um, size wise and everything, you're not compromising on that. It's kind of that best of both worlds
Right.
for that. So that one, I think, is going to be a sweet one for a lot of guys.
So that's got a thicker seat pad. It's 7.7 pounds,
Hmm.
350 weight rating, 26 by 16 platform.
Yep.
Yeah, so there'd be a nicer progression from maybe someone who wants to get away from a ladder stand and wants to maybe
Yep.
do something like this instead
Yep.
of jumping to like the Superfly or the Fly. It's a good progression to see what
Yep.
if they like it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit lighter than the Rubicon, very similar size though, so you're not having to all of a sudden go from the Rubicon to the Superfly and trying to figure it out, right? There's that, you can kind of learn into it, and then that Roam in combo with like the C3 micro buckles, and
Yep.
then either the X2s or the Hydros, if you're, but the X2s with the HFAS rope attachment system that we got is, in my opinion, is like the best entry level mobile hunting system. And then you put that in combo with the new packs that we got coming out too in
Oh,
September.
I,
Those are,
we'll get to those. I normally like
yeah,
normally when you're looking at stuff like this, it's like all these things are great, and then the pack looks like crap. This is like
yeah,
it. This follows suit with all of your new stuff. It all looks fantastic. Like there was a lot of time and effort put into making these really, really good, and some of the
yeah,
best you'd ever get your hands on, which is awesome to see. So
yeah. Thank you.
the hydros,
Hmm.
how do they differ from the X2s that people might be?
Yeah. So let me grab them actually.
Okay.
So the biggest thing I think is packability.
Oh wow, yeah.
So this setup, right, with the aiders and the ropes would get me the same height as these four X2s. Now I honestly, I never planned on running these
Yeah.
until I really started using them, because I love these X2s so much. And
I talk yeah, I tell everybody I meet about them and how awesome they are.
yeah,
They're just
well,
incredible.
and, and so it's like, and I always look at it from the perspective of like, hey, if I've got to pick one thing, if I'm going to have one setup, what am I going to go with? Traditionally, the X2s have always been that. Um, but then I started playing around with these, and they are they're incredible once they're used as the system, right? So and these X2s are set up like I talked to you about um, with the HFAS rope system. So this is again another incredible option. I love this setup. But the hydros are, so this is how I like to run them, and I actually utilize the gear strap that comes with them. I'm playing around with that idea of keeping them kind of as to keep them just a little bit more secured.
So is
But
that
they
is it sorry, is that gear strap to take place of the J hooks then?
no, so the J hooks
Oh, the J
were
hooks is still attached to the actual stand when
yeah,
you're
yep,
transporting it.
and
Yeah, yeah.
they
Okay.
J hooks won't work with this. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, it wouldn't be something you need to utilize with this. The gear straps are just fed through here. Just again, this is just me tinkering with stuff and playing around. Um, but these guys fit together like that. They intersect there, and then I've actually found, set these back here, to utilize
It's
the
even flatter of a profile
yeah,
when they're together. Yeah.
yep. So obviously shorter stick height, step to step wise. You can see that,
Okay. Yeah.
um, but what we did a lot, we found that we like these bungee cords a
Okay.
lot on the ends of stuff. So on the ends of the aiders there, we have them, and this is the best way I found to wrap them together, is actually kind of looping it back around. So then my aiders go around and pack everything, and they offer kind of some silencing components to it, and then you're left with your aider system like this, and then the rope system again with the bungee cord, on the end, and then so the biggest thing is just simply just the profile. So this is the profile of the stick, basically without everything on it.
Just want to take a quick break to talk to you about a couple of things that I've been using that I think might benefit you. One is this Numa Outdoors gear. This is in their Kaza OV pattern, which is great whitetail pattern when you're up in a tree in the fall and late season. They also have a Kaza pattern which has more green in it, which is good for spring through to the fall. Numa has given me a code to give to you of Caribou Media 20, which will save you 20% at checkout. Another product here that I've been using for years now is the Bulldog targets. This is a Canadian made target. They're made in Manitoba. They have a lifetime warranty. I've used that warranty twice now on a couple of my larger targets that are outside. It's very simple, very easy. These targets are 2-finger removal every single time, which is incredible. Field point only target. Bulldog's been gracious enough to give me a 20% discount code to give to you at checkout. Use code BD20-Caribou-Media. That'll save you 20% on these awesome targets. Now back to the show.
And so they just pack together super well, even with all of your whole system. So your attachment system, and then also your aider system too. And so that's really what we want to try and do is provide whole systems. So that's why the backpacks are such an important piece to have done well and done right, is because they all need to work together seamlessly um, for usability, but it also needs to make a lot of sense as far as functionality goes.
Yeah, so
So
for people that aren't watching, that if you had 4 X2s,
mhm,
you can get the same height now with these hydros that come in a 2-pack with aiders. You could always put
mhm,
aiders on the X2s, but these
yep,
actually come with the aiders.
yep,
So you're just like going back to what we were saying before, you're going to be going, if you never used an aider, which I haven't, but
yep,
you'll have to get used to using more like a rope ladder type system before you get
yep.
on to something more solid. So obviously test that out, but that's cool that you can bring less but still get the same. height,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yep.
very cool.
And even that was the hard part, even though I enjoy the X2s because of their functionality and their versatility and just how spot on they are and how they work for so many different people, right? This is going to be like a niche market of people that are going to run something like this, right?
Right.
I think it's growing, that market, but regardless, it's still just to that point of like I could take 2 or 4. You know what I mean? So it's less fiddle factor, less setup time. Yeah, it takes quite a bit of learning as far as getting used to the new system.
Hmm.
Um, but once you learn it, it's really simple because we kept that consistency from, like I said, the attachment system on the stands, the fly, the superfly, the same as the attachment system of the sticks. And so once
Right.
you get it in one spot, it's like, oh, okay, I just replicate this, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and my setup's done. If you're using the double rope attachment system there.
So going to that new rope, I know some people would say that the cam
Hmm.
buckles could clang together, and now
Yeah,
you've got this rope that's obviously not going to do that. But
right.
is there a stretch factor to it that you got to?
So yeah, somewhat. Again, it's more of a role
Okay.
factor that you kind of have to plan. So the way I always tell people is set it up um, perpendicular to
Yep.
your button, right? So
Okay.
still attach that perpendicular as straight as can be. The, where you really get in trouble is when you can't see or just going too fast, and you get that rope starting at an angle, and then all of a sudden it's really
It's
gets
way
really
lower
bad.
than, yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. But if you start it perpendicular, the rope attachment all the way around the tree, it's going to be greater than a cam buckle, but um not bad at all. And again, this is coming from a guy who's always been, a traditional cam buckle.
Hmm.
That's just been my preference because it's just so simple. But this is, again, is totally silent because it's just rope. And then you just wrap it about around the button twice, come under the cleat here on the bottom, around twice, and then that,
That's it.
um, yeah, that's it. And then the rubber piece here, you can either, if it fits around the tree, you can wrap the excess around the tree and then back on the button, or, guys it really depends on the tree size. Some guys will wrap it around, kind of behind, um, on the V kind of in
Yep.
here, and then
Keep it
back
out
on
of
the
the way.
button or whatever. Yeah. So you're not running that. So you can be, everything can be nice and tight. And then the stand is the same thing. You can run those and wrap it back around the I-beam buttons. So,
So they're made of am steel. They're 8 feet long,
hmm,
and so that'll fit a multitude of trees, which is good. And they only
yep.
weigh 1.8 ounces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So you think about that, like a cam buckle, um, 8 ounces, even the micro buckle at the 3 ounces there, so even you can, we really tried to fit the whole market. You know what I mean? The permanent set guys, the mid-level, entry-level guys, and then the been doing it type of guys. And so,
Right.
yeah, it's
For
crazy the
those,
weight savings between those.
for people who don't want to try new things.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So getting into that now, the C3 micro buckle,
Hmm.
is it basically like a cam buckle on a diet? It's just
Yeah, yeah, more or less. It's a, um,
all,
I guess I don't have. I've got one of the original, the prototypes, but it conceptually it's the same. Where'd the end
is
go?
it thinner than the,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. So it's, let's see if I
So the width
can
is
go.
thinner than the normal cam strap.
Yep. And this design is even a little bit different actually than what we ended up with. Um, and wait, this is, again, prototype, so it's not fancy. It doesn't look nice. It's just
Right,
like,
right.
hey, we got to get the system working. Um, so it's just basically a double class system, if you will, working based off of of friction and tension there. And I could be mixing up. I don't know if double clasp is an actual
We'll
correct
go.
term,
We'll
industry
go with
term.
that. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
but very simple. So this is the only metal part. Basically works off of tension, and that's where you pull this one up and it relieves that. Um, this has been so even using like when it's this size, the nice thing to silence it, it's obviously hard to stealth tape this, but things like one guy uses Jason Samkoviak, Samco Tradbo, was telling me that he'll use like really skinny bike tubes, the racing bike tubes, and
Yep.
you can cut those up and put them around this, and it works like a perfect system. So there's going to be a lot of little tweaks that people use. I don't honestly, I don't usually silence my stuff, and I'm sure
No.
some people will say that's why I didn't kill a buck this year, but um, it um,
You and me
I
both.
just yeah. Um, I just like to see what it's like without it, right? Thinking
Yeah.
not everybody's gonna run it and silence it up and whatnot, and so just to have real use case and stuff. But yeah, the C3 has been a labor. There's um, early iterations of it. If you look back at our 20 when we were doing our team deer camp, where we had a bunch of our content guys in town and we did a deer camp, we had some of the early iterations of the micro buckle, and it looks way different
Yeah.
currently. Um,
You're like, give me
but
those. Take these.
exactly. So it's been funny to see, that one's been in the works for 2 years um in itself there. So it's amazing how much just even that little of a thing. But when you're trying to be that little, it takes a lot of development to keep the safety standards that we have and the weight rating standards too. So it just takes time. You know what
Oh,
I
for
mean?
sure. Yep. So they'll hold 350 pounds. They're 2.9 ounces, 13 millimeter nano core webbing and aluminum, and they are 8 feet as well.
Hmm.
Very cool.
That's probably one of the pieces I'm most excited for, as funny as that sounds. Um, just what that can do just to the everyday guy who's running, you get a couple packs of the C3 micro buckles. You just more than halved your weight. 3 ounces,
Yeah.
just you know what I mean, just in those, and packability, how they can pack down about nothing. And so what that's going to do for people is exciting. And that's the stuff I love hearing is how that changed how they were able to do stuff and the equipment they needed and whatnot. So
Even if that's all they change, they're getting a
that's what I'm saying, right?
yeah, they're getting a benefit from it for sure.
Right, exactly. And they're starting to, they're able to start doing a little more mobile hunting because of it too. And so yeah, no, it's
And then the Solo Scout pack and Guide pack are coming in the fall.
yep,
They look really good.
yeah,
As
thank
coming
you.
from somebody who's done a number of pack videos, they
Yeah,
look like, like I said, some companies will have awesome stuff, and then it's like, and here's our backpack, and you're like, ah,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is not like that. These look really, really good.
Yeah. Well, each of those, the solo, oh my gosh, I'm brain farting on the sizes. The solo
Uh,
scout is
16 liters.
and then the guide scout is well, I think they're both,
Well, they're both 16.
yeah, they're both 16, but they're designed differently, so for different use cases. So like,
Yeah,
the
this
smaller, more compact
one's
version.
more of a rectangle, and the other one's more of a square.
Yep. So the square one, which is the guide scout, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
You think perfect. So the guide scout is designed to be really versatile. So it can kind of be, again, that bridge for people. I think what we realized as hunters when we really looked at how we hunt, we bring like 3 or 4 items, like hunting essential items, right? Rangefinder, grunt tube, maybe some scents, a wind detector, maybe, right? Like, and maybe some rattle and antlers. So four to five ish things, right? The rest of the stuff we put in our pack is usually snacks, candy. maybe some more food,
Yeah.
maybe a bottle of water, like, and you're only going for a few hours as whitetail hunters, and so
And if there's more pockets,
generally,
you'll want to fill them with other stuff that you probably don't need.
exactly. So you're like, okay, how do we
Guilty.
even yeah, no, same, exactly. I had to look at myself. So how do we take this, even something as simple as like a backpack? How do we take that and incorporate it into the system so that it's full of usability and not wasted anything, not wasted space? And so the whole design of it, the clamshell opening, so that when it's hanging, it can drop down, kind of like, and then forward facing is you got a little a quick drop bucket, if you will, in there, just within the lid of it, if you will, and then you can girth hitch some like a grunt tube right on there, and then there's some specially designed um, cinch cord closure pockets to where you can throw your rangefinder in there, grunt tube, but it's all, secured by the lanyard system too. And so even that, and then the shape of it even too, when you pack, like, there's so much wasted space in most packs that are tubular designed, right?
Yep.
So stepping back, how do you keep the structure, but if you don't need the space, not just like you've got this cinched up wad, right? So that rectangular design that we went for, you can pack that, right? So your heaviest stuff is at the bottom, going up to your mid-weight stuff as far as clothing goes. So
Hmm.
then you're organized. So when you get to the tree, you're not having to dig to see where's your sweatshirt that you want to put on before your vest and before your jacket. So you just simply, first thing is your sweatshirt, pull it out, because all that, it can only fit in a space, like this. So it has to be stacked and organized. So that conceptually, that's where we usability of it in that. The Guide Scout pack is something that you can use as a backpack in itself.
Hmm.
Um, the straps slide into another kind of compartment, if you will, when you're not using it. So you can just clip it to the frame or all the way around the stand too. If you're just putting it on top, and just using it kind of as like a pouch, if you will, but there's still a loop you can hang it. So it's the versatility of it um, has been expanded. So you can use it from early season, throwing a couple cameras in, and then throwing your stick on it because it's got the buckles all into it. When you go hang cameras, you can throw your stick up, climb up, set your cameras, all the way into late season as just your equipment needs, and then you can use it as kind of like a compression um, strap, if you will, around your clothes and
Right.
everything. And so again, the all season versatility of that, the guide, it's the material was we work with Mike at Backwoods Mobile Gear on all of our soft goods stuff and development of that before we go into production. And there's been so much work between us and ideas bouncing back and forth on this stuff that it's really, again, going back to um, the team design of it and how it all comes together to give us what we got. It's like
Yeah,
it's
it's like the perfect size. It
yep,
looks like the perfect size. The clamshell opening at the top only goes so far down, so you're not gonna
yep,
lose. It's not gonna be a yard sale up there, and you lose
yep,
everything. We all hate dropping stuff when you're already set. There's
exactly,
2 compression straps on the front. You've got MOLLE webbing to attach things,
yep,
and that's cool how the straps can tuck into a pocket, so
yep,
you could hang it from a tree and then even use the belt to wrap it around as, like, added,
yeah, yeah,
protection so it doesn't fall.
right.
And then
So
the guide's got the 2 side pockets and then is a
yep,
little bit more compact, but yeah, that looks wicked. Again, it's like
yeah,
it's got everything that you need without the extra room that you shouldn't use anyway.
yeah, exactly. You can
Yeah.
pack a few things here, but don't take
Yeah,
your whole truck bed.
you're not spending the week in the tree, right? You're just
Right.
gonna it's for those day trips in and out.
Exactly. Yep. And then and it is crazy to see the same leader size across these two packs, right? But they're because of how it's laid out, it's completely different. And so the Solo Scout is probably no. See, it's so hard to choose, honestly, to go back and forth because they apply so well to so many different applications, right? And I can see use case for every one of them. The Solo Scout is awesome if you're running like the fly or a saddle system for now, because you can put it on, because it's a slim long pack, you can throw that on the back. And usually what happens with what makes a backpack good or bad, or a carry system I should say, is how far it pushes out that weight, right? So that's why you'll
Right.
see a lot of times the backpack will be on, connected to the the tree stand, because the tree stand provides structure. So how do you do it? But it's not as, because then you got to have an attachment thing onto your stand, which is fine, and we do that a lot. But if you're running a smaller stand or a saddle system, you can't really do that. So what do you do? And so keeping that structure with still a firm frame to it, right? But nothing bulky, just keeping that pack simple so that you can cinch it down. But it's only being compressed, 2-ish inches roughly.
Right.
It just provides that structure, and then that packability is still in there. And then you still can put that weight on the back of the stand, and you're not it's not getting out this far. You're still only out this far, and then your stuff is out here. So it's not pulling you back at all,
Right.
because it's all compressed right there. So it's a very, very easy carry
Hmm.
anywhere. Any one of these systems. It really just depends on kind of a person's style, as far as, do they carry a lot of clothes? So then maybe the guide scout pack is going to be better, because you can, use that as kind of the last piece, put it on with your clothes and around the stand, and even just running the access pack straps. Those are super comfy, and with the load lifter system that they've got, um, it provides that pulling the weight off your hips and everything. So, you don't really need the waist belt at all. So
Yeah, you won't look like the kid running for the bus that's not wearing his backpack properly, that has all the weight sticking out at the front.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
So yeah, there's the access straps are literally that, just straps that attach,
Hmm.
and then the Gamma is also coming in the fall, and it's got more of like a back plate to it, but it's not a
Yep,
backpack.
yep,
Or
yep,
it looks like it's got the straps like a backpack and a belt, but it's
yep.
just for attaching your stand or whatever else you want to attach to it.
Yep, yep. So any of the bigger stands, like the access pack straps, are going to be great from anything. I would even say the Roam is within that space. They're gonna the lightest weight stuff is going to come with it, but you can still get the access pack straps for anything too. But I would say that Gamma would be great for the Roam, or the access pack straps would work for the Roam, and then anything beyond that, like the Rubicon, the Ion, would be great for the Gamma too. The Ion's getting a little big, but it's still big enough to where it works.
That's
But a lot.
more for the ultralight people that don't want to bring a backpack, will stuff
Yep,
snacks in their pocket,
yep, yep,
and
exactly.
just want a way have a way
E-
to get in and out.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, but still keeping with the functionality, again, with the load lifters on the access pack straps, and being able to get that weight up and everything. It's all in the details. So,
Nice. That's
mm,
awesome.
yeah.
I I think we hit everything. Um, you probably can't talk about anything else, but is there a new saddle platform in the works? Maybe.
So there's some cool stuff we're working on
There you
that
go. Shut up, Josh. Yes,
yeah,
cool.
no, no, you're good. This is it.
There's always stuff in the
Sam,
works. That's
yeah,
good.
Sam, I don't know if you caught the end of the video, but Sam, um, the end of the launch, he did just that. He came on, and we were done and did our high fiving and stuff, and he was like, "All right,
Yeah.
should we talk about 2026?" And both Brock are like,
Shut up.
what?" We could. So it was, yeah, no,
Cameras off,
it's
right? Yeah.
there. Well, it was funny because it was hard and funny. It was difficult and funny because we like Brock. Brock brought some of the new stuff we've been working on to, we were filming the launch stuff, so it's like, yeah, we're super jacked about this new stuff that we got, but like, I just gotta, this new stuff is even, just wait, like, let me show you this, but you know what I mean? So it's just,
I've already known about that stuff for a year.
Yeah, exactly. It's old now, so it's fun when you work as fast, like when your brains run as fast as ours do. We're always coming up with new stuff and trying new stuff, right? And so there's always fun things coming down the bend. But I think, there's going to be some really, 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 really cool upgrades and some really, really functional new things.
Always innovating.
Yeah, trying to. Yep.
But it's like, even when you think like, man, how can they make them lighter than 12 pounds? And then you do. It's like, holy cow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any hunts planned for the fall?
Yep. So the team will be in Montana this year. We've got an outfitter that reached out to us, actually, and we normally don't do outfitted hunts. They're tough for us mentally.
Right.
But he reached out to us. He's like, I love your guys' stuff, and I use them for early season over elk wallows. It's a great thing for our guys, and so we're gonna go out and check out some of his systems there and have some fun stuff out there in Montana for some whitetail, and then we've got a couple hunts in Wisconsin with our team. We'll be doing the river hunt again somewhere in Wisconsin.
Oh, nice.
And then we'll be actually, the plan is a northern Minnesota muzzleloader hunt where we pack in and in December in Minnesota. So we're hoping for absolutely frigid temps and stuff you're used to, bunch of snow and frigid temps.
Maybe a stove.
Yeah, we're trying to say that's what, for something like this, because we want to get way back, and just the remoteness of it, you're like, okay, we're packing one jet boil between the three of us. We're packing, everything gets whittled down. You've got this, I've got that, and it's really the team effort for it.
Someone's got the teepee tent. Someone's got the wood stove to keep us alive.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. I just picked up a teepee and a stove, so
nice.
I'll be doing some winter stuff too this year. So we'll see how that all pans out.
Yeah. Looking forward to hearing that. That sounds like an adventure.
Yeah. So this is awesome. I'm excited to try some of this stuff out and see how much even better it can be from the stuff I already have, which is, I didn't think you guys could improve on anyway. So my hat goes off to you guys. It's awesome.
Hey, thank you. Big team effort, man. Everybody's been incredible. So appreciate all your insight and testing and everything on stuff too. So it's been a blast.
Yeah. So maybe we'll circle back at the end and see how everything worked out.
Yeah.
How your hunts went and everything.
Yeah. Wicked. That'd be sweet. Love it.
All right. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. We'll see ya. Thanks again.